Hey guys, welcome to Reddit Brew. Today, I will be reading from the r/EntitledPeople subreddit, so let's jump into it. Entitled Karen sues my parents for $1 million. This tale harkens back to the early mid-90s, spanning 2 years or so. I was only 6 to 8 years old, so details aren't fully known, but the story gets told by my parents every so often. When I was 6, we were in my dad's car coming home from work/daycare. My brother was 10 and a half. We were in the back seat of a 2-door Mazda. We were fighting while my dad was stopped at a red light. He turned around to swat both of us, again, early 90s, to make us stop. His foot slipped off the brake, and we rolled forward into the car in front of us. My dad says my brother asked if we hit something. Both cars pulled off into the shopping center, and this lady goes into full-on hysterics, demanding an ambulance. And when the paramedics arrived, she insisted she needed a neck brace and backboard. My dad saw the writing on the wall and stayed behind to make sure the police got his full side of the story. Then the first thing he did was call the insurance company to tell them what happened. They had people out the next day to take pictures of the car and take my dad's statement. Sure enough, not long later, here comes the lawsuit. $1 million for crippling this woman for life. This began a 2-year-long battle with lawyers over a stupid fender bender. I know it took a long time and that my dad often ranted about how she rejected the first settlement offer, which was $30K, and then later the second offer, which was $50K, because she was a greedy lying bitch and wanted a full court hearing. By the time we got to court, my parents had separated, but since they were married at the time, they were both on the hook for the money if they lost. I was too young to go to the hearing, so I had to stay at daycare. My brother got to go though. It apparently was long and boring, right up until Karen herself got up on the witness stand to give her version of the wreck. First off, she used a walker and wore a neck brace to get to the stand. And then, to sum it up, she was innocently waiting at the red light when she checked her rearview mirror and saw a great big white truck barreling towards her, and she knew there was no way it would stop in time, so all she could do was brace for impact and pray. My parents perked up at that, as did their lawyers. They got out the set of pictures of a blue 2-door Mazda and showed them to the woman, then asked if she recognized the car in the photographs. She said no. The lawyers showed the photographs to the judge and jury and explained that this was the car that struck Karen. Pictures taken within 24 hours of the accident. According to my parents, the jury did a spit take. These were 2 adults that were gloating, so take it with a grain of salt. When the dust settled, not only did Karen not get her $1 million, but she ended up having to pay the attorney fees, lost wages, and daycare costs incurred as a result of the lawsuit. And that was how we got a free trip to Disney. Jeez, I know this happened in the 90s, but cameras did exist back then. Karen didn't think that they'd take pictures of the vehicle or report which kind of vehicle hit her. Great googly moogly. Some people's stupidity knows no bounds. Glad she got her karma though, and I hope OP's family had a lovely time at Disneyland. Entitled Bitch's car runs into my house. She gets a hit and run because of an oven rack. After just buying my first home, I had to redo the entire kitchen due to water damage. I was getting new appliances, so I put my old oven on Craigslist for $20. EB comes in with her truck with some clueless dude driving, and she talks me down to $10, and I'm happy to be rid of it. The guy backs the truck up toward the house and just keeps on going, running into the frame of the garage. The wood is dented, but I'm really pissed because the framing is separated with a big gap and it's shifted backwards. After all the unexpected BS with the kitchen, I was not happy at further damage to the house. EB is minimally apologetic and tells me to just put some caulk on it. I'm not great in confrontation, so I try to negotiate any acceptable rectification, finally coming down to asking for $50 for damages, but she refuses. I'm tempted to tell her to fuck off, but at this point, I just want the oven gone, so I take her $10. My girlfriend at the time comes out after they leave, hears the story, and I get an earful about auto insurance and how we need to get her back to the house. It was then that we saw that one of the oven racks didn't make it on the truck. How stupid might this pair be? I call them, and they turn right around to pick it up. We get the plates and tell them we are calling the cops for the proper documentation, and they split. When the cops get there, they're able to pull her registration and insurance up, and they call her and tell her to come back. She refuses and also states she was the one driving, guessing the guy had a suspended license. Eventually, they tell her it will be a hit and run unless they both come back, and then she changes her tune. I end up on the phone with her, and she is pleading that I just drop it, and that she will send her brother over to put some caulk on the house. Not acceptable, obviously. When she doesn't show up, I get all of the documentation and later file a claim. Insurance eventually paid $800. Not sure what financial and legal ramifications were for her, but I bet she wishes she had just given me the $60 and walked away, or maybe made do with only 2 racks in her oven. Now this is a good old-fashioned play stupid games, win stupid prizes scenario. I'm glad that OP's girlfriend had a spine. Don't let people get away with this stuff, otherwise they'll just keep doing it. The fact that OP was just going to let them damage their property and still give them the oven is astounding. Hold people accountable, please. You can do it. I believe in you. Don't call the police when illegally parked in a handicap spot. This happened many years ago during a very busy holiday season. My brother is disabled and confined to a wheelchair. We decided to head to the local mall to shop for the day and had circled the mall for about 45 minutes looking for a spot to park. We finally spot one that fits exactly what we need and start heading that way. As we are almost there, a guy parks in the spot and starts heading into the mall. I noticed that he didn't have any stickers or placards, so I asked him if he could move. I was told to F off and that he was only going to be a few minutes, so we could just wait for him to get back. So I decided to just park behind him. We unload my brother and start heading into the mall when the guy starts coming out, sees our van parked behind him, realizing he can't get out. He starts demanding that I move the van, so I return the F off comment he gave me earlier. He then tells me that he will call the police if I don't move. I tell him, go ahead. While he is on the phone with the police, mall security stops by to help out. I tell them my side of the encounter, that he is parked illegally, told me to F off, and wait. During this time, local police show up. The police start writing up his ticket for parking illegally in a handicapped space. Mall security and local police chat for a few minutes, and then they both come over to me. To my surprise, both of them just smiled and told us to have a good day shopping while they sorted out with the guy. We were inside the mall a good 4 hours, and when we came back out, the guy was nowhere to be found, but his car was still there with another ticket on his window. Actually, this is play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I love when the person who's at fault calls the cops on themselves. Sweet, sweet justice. I wonder what happened to the guy. Maybe he decided to just go back into the mall and wait. Whatever the case, what was supposed to be a quick trip for him ended up being a 4-hour inconvenience, and I hope he learned his lesson. Knowing Karen's and Kevin's though, it's doubtful that he did, but we can only hope. But anyway, that is all from me today. I hope you enjoyed these 3 entitled people stories. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye!